Hi everyone, my name's Tris, and this light is very bright. Let's turn it down a bit. There we are, a bit better. I don't know, really kind of dazzling myself. We're here for the next stage of the work on the railway. What railway are we doing? We're doing the W9 Why Not Vale, which is Tony backwards, because Tony's trains of rugby encouraged me to do this layout in April, or it was before April. This is Groot, and the idea was to get it ready for the Stapfold Barn Model Railway show. Since then it's been sitting on a shelf and I've been thinking, what shall I do with it? The guys at the club, which is the Kettering Model Railway, or Kettering and District Model Railway Society, we're going to chat about doing a show. I said I could bring my layout, so that's going to stem a bit of a response for myself to have that motivation to go and build a bigger layout from what I've got. Currently, it's actually very different. Before, it had 4 modules, which were about 55 centimetres long, with a fiddle yard each end, which was quite laboursome when we're going to do the work. And you need someone with you if you want to kind of have some form of break or run the logos really slowly. But being 009, I've been finding they stop a bit unless you've got some amazing the power caps inside the stay alives. That's the one. So I'm going to be getting this ready for the show, and it's on the 21st. Today is the 17th. I've only got a few days to get this done. I've been away this weekend and I've come back and thinking, right, I could just leave this alone. I could just have the 4 modules, as you know, and I've now added a loop on with the fiddle yard. Last episode you would have seen was the fiddle yard. Episode before that was the loops for each end. So a bit of my mind was thinking I can have a bit of a rest this week, do some of my other hobbies. No, we're going to get this ready. I'm going to stop waffling away. One last point before we get going is the show. It's on the 21st, All Saints Church in Kettering. Go check it out. The address will be below. You can also find us on our Facebook page. Check out the KDRMS Facebook page. You can go check that out and see everything. There's going to be some fantastic layouts there. Dan Everson from Tunnel Lane is going to be down on Saturday, so come see him. He'll hopefully give you some hints and tips. You can even speak to him about doing maybe some custom work for you. Dan does some amazing work building railways for those that might struggle to, or don't have time to, or just like a bit of help on it. He's kind of one of those people in the hobby which is very rare and absolutely brilliant for it. You'll have my layout, as you know, the big club layouts, as well as other layouts that the club have, which are brilliant as well. There's a few model shops there. AGR will be there, I think Keith's Models, and one other. I apologise, I haven't got the brochure in front of me. But anyway, thank you to my patrons, channel members. Your support is amazing. If you want to support the channel, click the link below and you can support me if you wish. If not, leave a comment, leave a like, and let me know your feedback on the episode. Anyway, let's get on with it and have some fun. Hey, buddy. Should we go check out the railway downstairs? This is my lounge, as you would have seen the layout on the last episode. If you haven't checked it out, stop this video right now and go and check it out. We have the 4 modules going across here. We have a loop on each end, and we have our fantastic, well, I say fantastic, some people would say not even up to standard, fiddle yard, which will allow us to have a passing loop on it, as well as one that I can work on things. We can always add to it later on. There's nothing stopping us adding points. I've had some people suggest maybe finish that one off, join it on, all these different things. Yeah, no, that's great. We can do this, but not today. We don't have time. We've got to get this done. I could stop here, like I said, but I'm thinking leave that one, take this one off, take it upstairs, and we can do some work on it. The only negative I have at the moment is, as soon as I do the work on here, is I will access these very poorly when I try and build the layout up. So I'm wondering, do I put this on with this, then start building the layouts up? Get to the other end, might have some trouble. I've got to angle things up. I don't know. Do I want to space these up? This is more complication. I don't know. Either way, I want to get this done. So we're going to take this upstairs now, and I'm going to talk to you about what I'd like to do. What we're going to do is use this block of Celotex foam. Nasty stuff, makes lots of dust and bits and bobs like that. But I'm currently having some building work done, and this is in this skip. So I thought, well, I'm having this before it gets rained on and goes mouldy. So what I want to do is cut out a shape. And you think, well, what's he going to cut the shape out for? Well, what I want to do is represent the sides of when we were at the Vale of Idle. That was me, Tony and Joey. We were going past the cliff, and they would have on the cliff face like the cuttings of the rock, and I thought that looks fantastic. So what I want to do is represent that with this. So by chopping this out and then sticking these on with a hot glue gun, might I add. So I've got my hot glue gun on. Let these things warm up. You might think that it's warm enough now to do its job. Let it get really, really hot, and then use it. It'll come out piping hot, and the stuff will stick. To cut it out, I'm going to have a go at using this. Ventilation will be on. I will have a mask on to try and protect myself in some way, and that'll be that. What else do I want to do? So with that done, let's say, before I can even do that, I want to use some of this wallpaper backing sheet, and that will go on here, and that will get painted blue eventually. So I need to trim it out, get it on, and stick it on. I'm wondering if I can just get away with using some PVA glue, or do I need to be using some of the, just move it out of the way, some of the wallpaper adhesive. How long will that take to dry? Will it cut into the time it takes for me to do all this work? That's one thing that I do wonder. If I use PVA glue, will it be as good as this? I don't know. I'm thinking I'm going to use PVA glue on this to save a bit of time. We'll get this on. I think what I'll do for the sake of the video is not go and video every step by step bit. I will probably, when I have time, because I don't have time, go through some more of these things in details. I'm just repeating processes that I've learnt over the years. One of them be the bits from Dan Everson about the backing paper to go against here. Paint it white, and it looks really, really good. Not paint it white, paint it the bluey colour. That's really important. Let's get on with it, and then we can talk about each stage as they come. I thought I would show you this actually. So I've put some PVA glue on. Use Gorilla Glue. This glue is reasonably quick. Put a thin layer on. It's going to go tacky. So what I need to do is move quickly. Put my cutout piece of paper on here. So this is my cutout piece of paper. Now I've got a brush that I can use to help make sure this sits flat. What I'm hoping is that this dries quite quickly, so then we can work on the next step. So just push it down here. I don't know if it's going to dry lumpy. What we'll do with our brush is just work it out. Try not to get any glue all over it. And once it's dry, we can trim the sizes here. Let that dry. Make sure those edges stick. Just hope for the best, can't we? Made a mark which roughly resembles this. It doesn't need to completely match it. It doesn't have to be completely uniform. So I thought just kind of make something. We get it on there, and we can drop it back. As you can see, as this is drying, it's already lumpy. But I'll just cover it in mountainous stuff. I don't know, bushes and trees can be coming up there. It's all fixable. I heard you all shouting at me saying that I should have used the wallpaper paste, but fine. I think it would dry a bit tighter anyway, hopefully, maybe. Who knows? Cut this to shape. I've tried to allow for the fact that I'm going to be sticking something on it, so when the coach is coming around, it doesn't get too close. We always think that we have more room. Turns out we didn't. It's generally the case. So, for most model railway things. I'm going to be using orchid bark to stick around it. You can get obviously bits that are kicking around on flower beds. Obviously I wouldn't recommend going taking from people's, but when you see bits and bobs here and there, you can pick it up. If not, I'm on Amazon. I picked up this premium orchid bark. I'm sure you don't need any premium stuff, but it's got it on here. I'll try and use the bigger pieces to minimise that time I'm using the glue gun to stick it on. I'm going to stick the Celotex on with the glue gun. This will be painted afterwards once it's dry. I want to just crack on with this. I don't have time to do, you know, I don't have time to take my time, basically. So we're getting on with this. So let's see how this comes together. So I'm going to stick these on and I'll show you once I've stuck them on. Here we are. I am actually really pleased with this. The negatives are the stringy bits, but I can pick them out. So you get all the bits that come off the edge of the gluing. There's not much you can do about that. We can pick it out, so I'm going to go through and pick it out, but as a rock formation that will work. I'm going to paint that all black and then I'll dry brush it all silver over the top or do something. We'll work out what it is. I need to paint that bit blue. I need to not paint it black, so I'm gonna have to mask off that area when I paint this. I have no black paint at the moment, so I'll pop to Halfords on the way home from work tomorrow, pick up some black spray paint, cover that over, maybe we dust it with some greyish paints, and we work it out from there. I'm actually really happy with how this is. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get some PVA, drop it in the edges and drop some ballast and sand in those areas, so we don't really have any smooth bits kind of remaining, and drop some sand in around here so that can then become the dark colours that will be on here. This will have shrubbery all around the bottom here, and then that will join up to the ballasted track. I'll probably do that last once I've got this grass up on here. What I'm going to do is have a little tidy up of this and then glue some of that sand on. So I've added a little bit of sand on the top here and made a really crazy, messy looking mesh. It's not solid. In some places it's tougher. It doesn't need to be super tough. Yes, I could probably put my thumb through it, but when I've got the fibre that's going to go on here, which is going to be the grass, I think it's going to be all right. But ultimately, really, really happy. It's 11 o'clock at night now, so that's enough for tonight. Tomorrow, I will continue when I get back from work. Hello everyone, this is day 2. Got home from work. This is what I managed last night. I ended up using an old notebook and putting some, using that to make a paper mache top. I decided I want to have something a bit tougher on it, so I've got a bit of resistance to it. I thought, oh, I don't want to get too messy, so I put a few bits on. I ended up getting really messy. There was watered down PVA glue everywhere. I'm still picking it off my hands today when I got to work. So what we're going to continue with today, because I don't have the material that I want to have going on here, but I've got a little bit of it, so I might try and use that. I'm not sure yet, but I do need more. As you know, we put the rocks on. We've done this and put the backing paper on. What I'm going to do is I got some paint from Wix. It's a shop. I normally get them from B&Q, but it's another shop. It's a company that's very good. So Wix, I thought I'd pick some of the colour to do the sky, and what better than to paint it is the colour is called Sky 910. We'll see if it looks alright. Yeah, I'll fix it with some clouds. After that, I picked up some from Halfords, some masking tape, because I want to mask the track off when we do the work on the track. That needs to be kept nice. I also need to work out a nice way of masking this after I've painted it, because I'm going to be spraying this black. I've got some Halfords paint. It costs an absolute fortune. Should have just used a brush in the end, and so we should be good. So really what I'll do is I'll show you kind of each stage as it's done. I'm enjoying doing it this way. Let me know in the comments below. My cat's just come in. Messy cat. Just comes and jumps my lap and he's rolled in something. That's his tail. Anyway, see you in a minute. With that painted, I now need to paint this black. I'm not going to do it on camera. It's going to be stinky in this room, so I'm going to shut my doors. Luckily I've got double windows. Cat will be leaving. and yeah, that will become black, and then we can work on painting that its base colour, and then we can do maybe the grass, see what happens. So I've painted this. Unfortunately it's a little bit shiny in places, but we can fix that with some matte varnish later. It's nice and dry. What we've got is a mixture of paints, grey, black and white, which I can mix around to try and achieve the colours and shades that I want. These are just the graduate cheap hobbycraft ones that you can get. What I'm going to do is a dry brush on here. So the dry brush, I'm going to show you, flip to the camera view, is with the pot. What it is, I'll get a bit of grey, let's say here. I'll take most of it off the brush, or just a certain amount off so you haven't got too much on the brush anymore. And then to test, you just kind of dust it over, and then the tops get picked up. If you do too much, you can always dry brush a darker colour over the top, and you can just work your way around. We normally start with a darker colour and build up, but we don't have too much time, so I'm going to have a little play, see how much time I've got, and I can always come back and dust up some areas. But at the moment it's very contrasting with the dark colour and light colour, so what I want to do is use the lighter, but basically build up. So I want to build up that darker colour a little bit with a mixture of that. So we've got our black and our grey together, make it a bit lighter, add a bit of white, almost the same colour. And if we want to, we can just go a little bit thicker on things, because we can come back and leave the black coating as an undercoat. So don't be afraid to just play, go from a number of different angles. A lot of the time they say to come from the top to get it to look right, but we'll do that on our later shade. At the moment we want to build up a bit of colour in this rock, because I feel it's a bit dark. Anyway, what we'll do is I'll come back to you when I've done this. I hope you're enjoying all this. I hope that it's not an exercise where you think, oh, what am I watching? He doesn't know what he's doing. I'm hoping that something that I'm doing here will give you a bit of interest, and that you'll come and join us at the show on Saturday, the 21st, at All Saints Church in Kettering. Come say hi to me, come say hi to the guys at the club. And it's £6 to get in. It's £6 cash. For the gentlemen of the elder years, it's a little bit less for you. I believe it's £5. But yeah, it's all on the Facebook page. You can click on the link on there. It's the KDRMS Facebook page, but I'll put some links below for you to enjoy seeing. Not enjoy seeing, but enjoy perusing over. But anyway, if we just look a bit closer at this, just to get an idea. That's the wrong place. So you can see what I'm doing here. I'm building up that texture here. If you really want to, you can use your white at the end, blend in what's left in the brush. So it's like a really light grey. You get most of it off, and then we can do a little bit more on the very tops, just to kind of highlight those edges, and it will look really, really nice. So just have a look at that. Looks good. Well, I think it looks good anyway. Just knock it on the top, and we've got what I feel is some nice looking rocks. Like I said, I'll get the rest of it done, and we'll come back to the next stage, which will probably be working on the track, painting that. So the bit's been peeled back, so you can see the blue behind, the black, nothing's blurred through, the track's done. What I'm going to now use is some brown, I've got some just burnt umber. I'm going to use that and maybe the odd other shade and paint in the track. I'm not going to show you that because I think that's not as interesting, or is it? Maybe I'll show you a few seconds of it. All I'm doing with this is I've got a little bit on the brush and I just dab it. Because I've connected the track directly, it's alright around the fish plates to do some bits. So just work my way, and you don't have to have loads of paint. You want to keep some of the texture on the sleepers. One of the other benefits when we paint it is that we'll take away a bit of the shine, which will be one thing. Get a bit out of this pot here. A bit of the shine will go, and it will look nicer. The track won't look so shiny as well on that bit. I wasn't too worried on the other layout, so yeah, you just gotta get this done. I could come back in and make the rail look a bit more rusty. I don't feel I need to. I'll just do this, clean the track afterwards, and then be ready to go. And when the paint's almost dry, it's always a nice time to take the paint off. Not paint off, well, the top of the track, so to clean the track. So we'll do that. But I thought I'd just come around and do this. I can use a hairdryer to make it dry quicker. and go from there. But it's nice just to knock off the plastic wooden look to the sleepers. All I'm doing with this is I put a little bit on the brush and I just dab it. Because I've connected the track directly, it's alright around the fish plates to do some bits. So just work my way, and you don't have to have loads of paint. You want to keep some of the texture on the sleepers. One of the other benefits when we paint it is that we'll take away a bit of the shine, which would be one thing. Get a bit out of this pot here. A bit of the shine will go, and it will look nicer. The track won't look so shiny as well on that bit. I wasn't too worried on the other layout, so yeah, you just gotta get this done. I could come back in and make the rail look a bit more rusty, but I didn't feel I need to. I'll just do this, clean the track afterwards, and then be ready to go. And when the paint's almost dry, it's always a nice time to take the paint off. Well, the top of the track, and to clean the track. So we'll do that. But I thought I'd just come around and do this. I can use a hairdryer to make it dry quicker, and go from there. But it's nice just to knock off the plastic wooden look to the sleepers. We have the fun stage of adding the grass on the side. This is hanging basket liner. This is something that Dan Everson put me onto. Kind of increases or decreases the time in which it takes to get something done, which is fantastic. All I'll do is put some static grass on this afterwards, and it will look great. I won't have to paint any of this brown or anything like that. We're going to use a hot glue gun. We're going to fit this on the side here. That's the plan anyway. And then we'll work our way around, dragging it round, stretching the bottom round, and hopefully get this on nice. I haven't got enough to go all the way round initially, and I've got another piece there, so we should be alright. This is really dusty stuff, so I shook it off outside. Not dusty, there's little hairs and things. So to make this bit better, but it's already got lots of hair everywhere. To stick it down, I used to use PVA glue. Now I'm going to use my hot glue gun. This is an invaluable tool. I'll put it down part way, put a little bit extra just to help anchor it. Don't put it too close to the track. We can add in some static grass to help with that, because it pushes up too much. So what it is, drop it on here, and then down the side there, put a little bit of pressure on it. Don't obviously destroy the paper mache, and that should hold on to it really nicely. Just let it cool down, and move over to the next bit. The bottom side seems to have got a bit of a grip, so that should be good for this. And work my way around. I'll show it to you once it's done. Like I said, all the other things. Like I said before, subscribe, comment, like if you like it. Anyway, let's crack on. I've got the grass on now, or the base of the grass. When you put it on, you can obviously trim things to length if they're a bit too long. You might get strange looking long pieces, which aren't very useful. You can pull some of these out. You can spend ages trying to get rid of a lot of it, but it will just keep coming away. So there's a point that you come to settle with it. I spend all day trimming. What I will say is you will see some of this through the static grass. The idea is you don't have to put as much static grass on. Like I said before, this is a method that Dan Everson from Tunnel Lane Model Railways, he kind of taught me this technique, and there's many techniques like it. My brother showed me when you can use lint and tear it off, and then he's been putting static grass over the lint a little bit. I think it looked really good with the lint. I think he's painted that a certain colour and everything, and so there's lots of techniques out there, and I'm looking forward to seeing how this looks. It should look like the other one from the other parts of the layout. Once I've done the static grass on here, I'll then do the ballast for the track, and maybe add some greenery in here. I don't want to disturb the ballast when I've done the ballast, so I need to basically do this, do the ballast, put some greenery in, and then kind of just stop. And then tomorrow, which is Thursday, being that this needs to be ready for kind of Friday night to pack in the car, yeah, I haven't got too much time. I want to put some trees around here, but that will come with time available. First, I'm going to start out using some static grass flock by Wooden Scenics. This is an applicator, basically static charge, connecting the circuit partly here, shaking the grass over the top. It will land standing upright is the idea. To act as something to stick to, I'm going to use the matte lacquer, cover the area and then put the static grass on. You can then build up by spraying over the top of that, building it up. If you want, you can use hairspray. I have used that in the past. This one has a bit of shine, so I don't really want to use that. But it does smell nice afterwards because it's got a coconut fragrance. So what I do is I'll do the static grass work and you can enjoy that after I've done it. And you can see how it looks. Make sure you wear a mask. You have lots of ventilation when using sprays and such. I'm going to start on this corner. We need to protect the blue from getting covered. Basically, cover it up with a bit of paper. Work the area. Some of it we're not going to be able to get, so we can spray that afterwards. You don't want to be covering the track. We work our way down, we do a section about there, we'll make it quite clear what we're doing in paper's width. And we'll put the grass on. So I put that first layer on, I then sprayed over the top of it and I added a bit more. What you can do to add some kind of more natural shapes, you see it, other people that do this, basically it stops everything being so uniform. And the nice thing about this rugged sheet that's underneath, it then forms a nice situation where it's not completely uniform. Whilst we're here we can see the other bad bits that are going to cause us bother. So I chopped down them, these long rooty like bits. But really these could be part of how the scenery is. And you've got these bushes could be growing out of here. And these are some roots from things or old bushes. But your eye shouldn't be drawn to them because you're looking at the logo going around. So that's one big thing for me when I'm thinking about it. I thought, well, it's okay if it doesn't quite look right because you're not going to see it. So with that done, I'm now going to use my lighter shades that I like. This is from Green Scenes, this one. A bit more expensive, but it just looks really, really nice. But before I put that on, I'm going to hoover off the excess here. So with that done, we do a bit more. I'm not going to put all the lighter shade, the more expensive one, up at the top. At the bottom, I'm going to aim at the top. So I'm going to put it in patches over here. What you can do to kind of give a bit of a finish off is scatter some grass inside some of the where you have the flock, and that kind of breaks up some of the looks. So you can sprinkle bits in. This is just some falla stuff, and just drop it in. So then it adds, well, it takes away some of the uniform colouring. So you just do little scatterings here and there. You can lock it in with the hairspray or matte lacquer again if you want to. I always like this because it adds a lot more depth to the look of everything. Okay, so that is that. It's looking very nice. I think what we'll do is with some of that grass, we'll put some bits on top of rocks as if it's growing. I think that would be quite important to get that done. We can add tufts later of grass growing out of corners. And add little bushes and things. I think that would be good to have something on top just there. We also want to add some stuff down here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some glue, some PVA glue. We'll get a brush here and we'll just work it into the different areas in here, and then I can put some more grass, but the scatter type. So my idea was to put bits of grass in places and then do static grass where this hasn't gone. So we get a varied result really on what's going on. Okay, so we're going to have grass growing on flat bits of mountain, aren't we? So on the very top I was thinking, well, the grass is going to grow there easiest. If we want, we can add some dirt, some bushes and things. But I think this is looking right. There's a bit of grass left in it, so we don't want to go mad shaking it. So if anything's even standing up, we can come around with a hoover for that afterwards. I've got some bushy kind of stuff here. Some of the bits of green flockiness. You can add some bits there. Right, you know what I've done so far. Kind of like recap to myself more than yourself. We're going to do the ballasting now. Ballasting is quite a simple job. What we want to do is really get the ballast. This is by Wood and Scenic. Start in the middle. Probably blocking the camera right now. And you can work your way out with a brush. The best of the place that it's going to go. That should be about right. Really, a brush that you can use, there's all sorts of brushes you can use. Just a normal brush, a paintbrush, or you can use like the bigger brushes that you'd use for painting, all like an inch wide one or whatever. So I was just looking for one. But ultimately, just work it around until things are missing. The areas that you don't want to have, really. You don't want to have stones building up on the inside of the track because your locos won't run. It's okay if you are missing a little bit, we can always add later. That's the main thing. Don't worry about not doing enough because you can always add, which is a big thing in anything that we do. We can always add more later. But we can always pick it off if we do have some trouble. Don't worry too much. And also things are going to move around when we do the gluing stage of this. So yeah, don't lose heart if you find all it's gone over. Just don't have it so it's swimming. And also the more glue you put on, the longer it will take to dry. The next stage, which is part of the culprit of things swimming, is a sprayer with water in mixed with isopropyl alcohol, or people call it ISO. All I do is just check the spraying on the surface and just gently work it in the area. What this does is it allows the glue, which has been watered down, kind of like, I'd say like 20 to 30% glue with water, the PVA glue that is. And what you'll find is it makes it just wick through because it gets rid of the surface tension. Like faux liquid, you can just use faux liquid and water to do this. The only negative about me spraying it on with this sprayer is it does knock around the stones a bit here. The worry is that I put too much of this on and it takes 2 days to dry. But it's not a thick layer, so we should be right. Hopefully I've put enough on. We'll see. Then I've got a little jam jar with a hole in the top with a pipette, which has got some goo on the end. We don't want that going on it. So yeah, I've had this jar for a little while, but basically fill up the pipette and I work it in from the centre. And that's it really. Do the outside. Just make sure you've done everything really. You might realise that you've messed some bits up, but you can come back a little bit later and hopefully sort it out. But I find generally once you've got the glue in there, you just need to leave it alone because everything seems to stick to whatever it is that you want to move around to make things work. big lump of goo came out of here. Well, goo or glue, same thing in this case. Don't worry if things don't soak through straight away. You might get a bubble of liquid go on because you didn't get any of the isopropyl alcohol in. It will kind of drop down into the ballast that you've got. Just to be patient with it. My bit of goo is bright white at the moment. Hopefully that dries clear. Just be careful where you're dropping everything. Don't try and get it on your grass, or try not to get it on your grass is what I'm trying to say. It's now day 3. I did a little bit of work once I got home from work. I added in some of the fine leaf foliage that I picked up from Tony's trains. I've been using the olive green and I think light green or something like that to add the mixture of colours on here. I had lots of fun on top of here. So you saw me do the static grass yesterday. I don't know how much you can see. Yeah, you can see nice and close here. So you can see the static grass in the image. You can see the fine grass blends on. Then I've got the lighter colours, the bigger foamy bits. I don't know, it's kind of got a nice look going to it. Then I've added with the fine leaf foliage parts, you can like stuff them in gaps and bits and that. You even have it so it looks like a small tree. Sorry, is growing out of that part. So I'm kind of really pleased with that. I've added bits of detail like fallen, like kind of twigs, fallen like trees that might have been up before and they've sat there just rotting and dying. There's another one here that's just drying at the moment, so we see some glue underneath it. We're kind of happy with that. And then we at the bottom got like a larger log that would have fallen down from up here or got left on the side after a tree used to be here or something like that. And like a little log pile just here. There's a lot of logs on here going on. And the same on the front, so it doesn't just stop with that. So where you have the bit that people aren't going to focus on because they're going to be watching from here, are like, you know, fallen leaves and not fallen leaves, fallen, you know, trees and branches and things like that. There's another one there. So I've had quite a bit of fun doing this. So now I'm going to do the trees now. I'm going to use some seafoam trees. I'll kind of talk about it a bit more in a second once I've got everything together. So the trees are the next thing. There's loads of different ways of making trees, and this isn't a video about making trees. What I want to do is use these seafoam trees. So I've got some here from Green Scenes where I got some of the other bits from, so the foliage things and everything. You can buy all sorts of the foam types, or they're kind of like these harder kind of look a bit more like leaves individually, I guess. But I've got a few of them, some by Knox, some by Green Scenes, and some are by Gauge Master. And then you've got the foamy ones to play with. They don't come like they look in the picture on here. What you'll find is generally you'll have a mix, and you can apparently like warm them up in water and bend them straight, so you get some with a bit of a, if it's a gaily day, we might be able to do something with that. But you get some that come out where you've got a bunch of bits on and you'll break a piece off, and then you've got, yes, and it's pretty good. So you use that. I don't have time to start spraying them the right colour and bits like that. Ultimately, I'm just going to pick out a few, put some bits on, and then I can put them on the layout just to make it look nice. The one thing I can do is later on come and do a better job. So yeah. Anyway, what I do is I'll kind of set up ready to put some of the leaves on, show you what I'm doing, and then we'll put them on the layout. So I've picked out some that I think, oh, that'll be okay. Some bits you have to kind of break little bits off to then kind of make it finish off nicely. You think, okay, right, that's a nice, yeah, small tree that'll be sitting in there. It's gonna be a very easy way to do this. I'm going to use some invisible hold, spray it on. Before I used matte varnish, and the room got it was too much, so I thought let's do this in a nice way. Like I said, I've got these bits here, so what you can do, what I found I had trouble with before is making them stick. So you just sprinkling it on and sprinkling it on didn't always work. So you have your pot. I think some of it is we can always pour it back in afterwards, which is the great thing. But what I do is spray my bit here away from the stuff that you want to enjoy, And what I did, make a little shuffle around it, and then tap off what you feel is the excess, and then voila, basically. I don't know if you can see closer on the camera how well it focuses up, but it's really simple, really quick. And it afterwards, what you can do is give it a little blast from the outside, just a gentle one from more of a distance. You can't see, I don't want to spray with them, but basically a bit of hairspray. It's more of one of those glossy ones, so it really does hold on to it. We'll let that dry, and that should be good enough to pop on the railway, ready for the weekend. So I'm going to set that here to dry, and then do the rest. I'll get back to you once they're all done, and we'll start putting them on. That'll be the last final stage for this, I think. Well, mostly final. We've made our trees. I've got various colour ones. I've got darker and lighter shades here. And then I've got one of the foam type ones here. So these are both like the knock and gauge master type leaf ones. Actually, I think one was green scenes, the light one. I forget which one's what. And then I've got some of the foam stuff by Green Scenes, just something a bit different again to knock a bit of contrast into the mix. So I'm going to put these in, and quite simply, like, where do you put some of these that aren't going to cause you trouble at the show? Arguably this side, people aren't going to be so hands-on, but what I want to do is add some mystery and have like the tree here. I just swing this one. I'm dropping in here, so then the logo comes out of here or goes into there. You didn't see the tunnel as much. Actually, while I was filming this, Eric from Underground Eric, he did a nice comment for me, just mentioning about having that as like a cave entrance almost, you know, well, not cave entrance, but using this to do that. And I think, obviously I haven't got time because it's tomorrow. I need to go set up at the hall. I don't know if you can see me on the side of the camera. Yeah, so we're going to set up at the hall. So my next thing now is just like, let's just get this together. So just using a drill, make a little hole. It's only paper mache under here. If I can make a hole, that is, without destroying the layout. I feel like that's not going to happen. I need to get my knife out. Yeah, maybe make a hole, not with a drill, right? There we are. What I want to do is post in my tree here. Means we can always pull it out later on if it breaks or anything like that. Not that I can find the hole that I just made. There we are. Do we want to glue it down? We probably do, with it falling over like that. So what I'll do is I'll install all of the trees. I'll be using tacking down with a bit of glue, but we should be able to finish off the general look of all this. So yeah, pretty exciting. I would argue that we have finished. I don't have much more time to be ready for tomorrow, but I'm really pleased. The clouds I've added in. See how many animals you can spot in the clouds, and how many animals are on here, because we've got some sheep, and I put these on in tribute of my Auntie Pauline. My Auntie Pauline kept saying, you need some sheep on your layout. I put some wild sheep that have snuck onto the top of the mountain to graze on this beautiful grassy, shrubbery bushiness that's there anyway. But I'm really happy with how this looks. Let me know what you think. I think the trees have worked out nicely. Hopefully I don't destroy this taking it to the show. Big thank you to my patrons, channel members, subscribers. All of you have been great. Let me know what you think I should do with the other half of this. What we could do scenic wise anyway, what project we could enjoy. I don't want to make another one of these because I've done it. I think it looks great. Let me know what you think. Is it kind of the end of a top of a mountain? You know, logos come around and goes to its place to represent the Vale of Idol to a certain degree. Anyway, as always, thank you so much. Please leave a comment. Let me know what you think. The show is on Saturday, the 21st of October. All Saints Church in Kettering. Come see it. It's £6 to get in. Bring some cash. There'll be lots of things to buy. There'll be great layouts to see. I look forward to seeing you there. Come say hi, and yeah, it's going to be great.